Well, here we are again, folks. This is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. So proud to be with you today. Do you know that Jesus said a lot about the physical side of man and the spiritual side of man? The physical side of man has a thing that Jesus called mammon. Well, that was the things of the world. You remember the guy that said, I'm gonna build some bigger barns. I've got so much stuff that the barns I've got won't hold them, so I'm gonna build some bigger barns. And the Lord said to him that day, He said, "Thou fool, this day thy soul will be required of thee." In other words, he was going to die that day and leave every single solitary thing behind. What a difference it would have been if that man had been a man that said, "My barns are full. I think I'll take this one over here that's been full the longest, and I'll give it to all of the poor peoples out here, and I'll refill it with new stuff," and rotated his stock. But no, instead of that, he wanted to gather up more and put it in the barns, not giving any thought that there's a good possibility that the rats are going to eat what was in the first barn by the time he built a new barn and had it full. If he would go back and discover that it was futile what he was doing, because earthly things perish. Everything on earth perishes away. If it comes down to money, piling up money, you can pile all you want up. Wow. We're living in such a dangerous time in the United States of America when you talk about money. You say, "Well, I have millions and millions and millions of dollars backed up by the FDIC, the federal government, the group of people up in the federal government that have squandered away the money they have borrowed from other countries. They have done everything they can. They have took your money and paid the national debt with it." How much money do you think you're going to get back if you wanted to cash in today? Let's just say you were worth $5 million, and you say, I'm going to get $5 million in cash money that I have in cash money out there right now. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to start today, and in 5 days I'm going to have my $5 million in my hand. Try it. I'd like to see you try it. There's no way under the sun that you're going to get $5 million of the government today unless you steal it. Now, you could steal it if you're up in that high position, and the money they're stealing is your money. And when you go to get your $5 million, you're going to find out it's no longer there. It's not there. They say, "Oh, well, we paid the national debt with it. Or we did this or that with it." Oh, yeah, there's people out here that are worth billions. But that billions they're worth, they don't have any control over it. It's somewhere else. And besides that, if they did have $100 million in a safe at their house, and they were raided even by a local police force, they would say, "Where did you get all this money? Prove every dollar you got here, or we're going to take it as evidence." And they're going to take your money too, because they say you ain't got no right to hold that much money. I tell you what, when it comes down to security, your security better not be in your money. Your security better not be in your money. A fool and his money is soon parted. The Bible said a fool and his money is soon parted. Hey, I've known people that were rich. They would not spend one penny on somebody else. They would not think of giving a penny away. Think of giving a quarter away. Thinking of won't even go out to dinner because they're too chintzy. It costs $5 when they could eat a sandwich at home that costs 50 cents. The very money that they have, that they're chained to, is their own prison. They can't spend $1 of it. And they couldn't give away $1 if you said in the morning, I'm going to change today and I'm going to give $1 away. You just can't turn it loose. Going to die and leave it all to somebody. Every single solitary penny, taking 1 penny with you. Hey, I've seen people filthy rich and miserable. I've seen poor people, very poor, when they got $10, they didn't mind giving the Lord his 10%, which is $1 on $10 on 100, taking it to the church house and giving it to the Lord. And the Lord took that other $90 they had and blessed them with it and made it be more than it was. And money can rule your life. Actually, the truth of the matter is, this day and age, money pretty well does rule the majority of the people's life. They're ruled by money. I can honestly say the Lord has gave me a free heart. But there are times when then things come due, and I would have a thought about that money. I'd better keep my mind on the Lord, and he'll take care of the money situation. He'll take care of what's due when it's due. Money is a robber of peace. It will rob you of your peace of mind. It will rob you of your peace in your heart if you let it become the focal point in your life. The only thing you really need is to have your needs met as they come. Not way out there. You know the problem with us on the first day of the month? Many of us on the first day of the month are thinking about the money we'll owe on the last day of the month. The money that's due. And we think about, worry about the light bill. It's due in the middle of the month. The light bill will take care of itself. Sufficient is the evil thereof of the day, and God will take care of us. Listen, the Eastern people back in Bible days had many riches and treasures. Many of their treasures was fine linen, fine clothes, purple, and fine linen. Wow, what a beautiful thing it was. And they went out. When they went out in dressed in fine linen. And when they went out with armor on that was polished. And the man could say, look at my armor. It's solid silver. Wow, that wasn't too bright. Solid silver is not strong as iron, and heavy. But anyway, solid silver. Their weapons of war were sometimes gold and jewels and things where they dressed and they looked like really something. And here's a guy come out in his weapons. But I'm going to tell you what the Lord said. The Lord said, moth and rust does corrupt, and thieves break in and steal. And that person that puts his life into his things, his beautiful clothes, his beautiful car, his beautiful shoes, his beautiful everything he's got, and flaunts all of that, and I have that, thieves are going to break into his car and ruin it, steal it. Thieves are going to break into his house if they get the opportunity. Thieves are going to steal his money if they have the opportunity. And if he has suits of clothes hanging in his closet and he doesn't have some kind of protective device, the moths will get in there. I have a closet upstairs in my house that I went to get a jacket. And you know the moths had been in that jacket. And I got to looking at it, they got little holes all through it. And the moths will eat up. If you let something hang a while, the moths will get in there and eat it up. Well, what Jesus said, he said, lay up, not treasures. Lay up for yourself treasures upon the earth. Lay not up for yourself treasures on the earth, where moth and rust does corrupt, where thieves break in through and steal. But lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Where is your heart today? Where is your heart today? Is your heart in the indifference of futile things, money and things, money and things, money and things? How big a check you can write? How much cash you have? How much ability you have to live without God and just say, I don't need God. I got everything I need. I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes down to the end of your life, when it comes to the time when you stopped in your tracks physically, and you have to sit and take a good look at yourself, are you going to be happy? By the way, the doctors can drain the largest man's bank account on earth. I don't care, the man with the most money on earth, the doctors know how, and the hospitals and the nursing homes and the places know how to take every single solitary thing you have. They'll end up with it. And what's bad is, just like recently, I saw a man go to a nursing home, and I know for a fact they will rob his wife of his house, land, and everything. When he passes away, she won't own a single solitary thing. They'll have it tied up, and they'll own it. And she may even end up herself having to go to an assisted nursing home or something because she'll be broke. Listen, this world has no mercy. This world seeking after money and seeking after things is going to take everything that you have. If you have something, you might as well live on what you need and furnish God's kingdom with the rest of it. A man doesn't need, if you got $1 million and you only need $20,000 to live on, and you got no money coming in, give it away. Give that money away. Become a giver. Become a giver. Become a giver. Hey, and by the way, if you're trying to give that $1 million away, do you know God will probably make it $2 million before you're done? God has a way of taking that which you give and doubling it back to you. And He's done it with me for years and years and years. So lay up not treasures on the earth, where moth and rust does corrupt and break in and thieves steal. But lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust does corrupt, nor thieves break through and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. This is in Matthew chapter 6, and it's a warning to believers. It's a warning to believers, people that believe in God. He's saying, God says, you take care of those people around you that have a need the best you can. Do what you can. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of your need. I'll meet your need. I'll take care of you. And He will do it. Look at verse 22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, the whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great that darkness! No man can serve two masters, for he will either hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. You cannot serve God and mammon. That's riches. You can't serve riches, the world's riches, and God at the same time. Oh, you can have the world's riches. You can have the nicest house. You can have 14 bathrooms in your house. You can have carpeted floors. You can have gold chandeliers. But the thing about it is don't be worshiping those. Don't be going out bragging on those. If you want to brag on anything, you brag on the Lord that gave those to you. And how God has blessed you to have those things, and share of what you have. And share. I have gone through some things. You know what? I look back and in a sense, I thought I'd like them. I had a collection one time of eagles. Oh, a beautiful collection of eagles. I mean, I had some of the prettiest eagles you've ever seen. And I like that collection a lot. I had some Mexicans come. This sheetrock that is behind us right here that you see right now. I had some Mexicans come and hang this sheetrock and put it out. And I had I think it was 5 eagles, beautiful eagles. And I had 5 boys here putting the sheetrock up. And before they left, I said, the Lord said to me, give them boys them eagles. And I said, okay. I opened my chest, and I got my eagles out, and I lined them up, and I said, boys, I want to give each one of you one of these eagles. And I gave them those eagles. And I also gave them the gospel. I also gave them a bonus on what they did. And also saw that they heard the word, and wherever they are today, I do not know. I may never ever see one of them again. I may never see one of them again. I don't know anything about them, but I know that what God did was, if it brought one of those guys through, and he's following the Lord today, and may even be a preacher somewhere or something, that it was worth those eagles. Now, those eagles could have sat in that case and never done anybody one bit of good. But giving those boys those eagles did some good. And that's what God wants us to do. And by the way, if I still had those eagles, and I had worshipped those eagles, because the Bible said it's a funny thing that a man will whittle out something and put it on a stand and worship it. We need to be careful. We need to be careful. I thought about this week. I've seen people, you couldn't get them to go to church. You couldn't get them to worship the Lord. You couldn't get them to give a penny to anybody. You can't get them to do anything. You couldn't get them to spend one time helping somebody or doing something for the Lord. But they take their dog out every morning, walk him up and down the road, bring him back, baby him, buy him the best food, got the best bed in the house, got the best plate. He has preeminence. Whatever he wants happens and everything. And he's a dog. Just think about it. Think about that. Be careful if you have a dog. You don't worship that dog. I know people that worship their dog. It would kill, if that dog got ran over or got killed, it would kill them. They would just die. So, where is your God? Is your God money, mammon? Is your God things? Is your God your dog? You cannot serve God and mammon. Look at verse 25. We're talking about worry and anxiety. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is it not life more than meat, and the body more than raiment? Behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? I'm going to check that right now for a second. Verse 26 is where we were, going to 27 in Matthew chapter 6. Listen, are they not better than they? Let me tell you something. Every sparrow that is out here, God feeds. It has been said 100 train car loads of birdseed rounded up would not feed the birds one day on this earth. 100 train car loads would not feed the birds one day on this earth. God feeds every one of them. He feeds all of the pelicans, thousands, millions of them. He feeds all of the flamingos, millions and millions of them. All the seagulls, all of the all of the birds that are in this world eat tons and tons and tons of food every day. And God feeds every one of them. I don't know if there's anywhere in the world there's a hungry bird. God feeds them all. You know what those birds do? They put their faith in God. And that's what we need to do. We need to be like a bird and say, God's going to provide for me whether I can see it or not. And God does provide. He said, which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature, or 1 inch, or 1 little bitty, even a 1/4 inch? By taking thought, you can't add to your stature. Not at all. There's no way it can be done. Now, we need to look inside and say, is my inside serving God, or is my inside serving things around me, money and things? If you want to be happy, serve the Lord. First thing you got to do is find Him. How do you find God? You say, Jesus, I'm a sinner. Forgive me of my sin. Come into my heart and save my soul. That's how simple it is. And mean it. And He will come into your heart, and He will change your thought and your ways. He will help you. If you should happen to be a rich man, give away some of your riches. Give away some of your riches. Don't sit on them. Man, if people say about you, he's got the first dollar he ever made, go back. Find that first dollar. Find that first $1,000 and give it to somebody or something. Or put it in something that God can use. Right now at our church, we're thinking of the future. We're thinking of a camp. We're thinking, I'm 72. I won't be around. But if I help support and build a camp down there, there will be a group behind me that will be able to use that camp. There will be a group of children that will be able to swim in a swimming pool. There will be a group of children be able to play on volleyball fields. There will be a group of children in an environment other than evil environment that can enjoy themselves, that can have life-changing weeks in their life. On the basis of they can have a life-changing week by visiting. I remember being a po' boy growing up. Got to go to camp. I'll never forget it. Camp Idlewild. I'll never forget it. 5 days of my life were 5 of the best days of my life that I can ever remember. In my whole life, I remember those 5 days, one time, going to camp. I can actually feel and smell the water and know I could dive in, and it was 20 feet deep and you could see the bottom. Beautiful, pristine water. I remember the fun, running in and out of the cottages with other boys, meeting other boys. I remember that particular 5 days of my life like it was the biggest thing in my life that ever happened. And that's what we want to do. We want to have a camp. We'd like to have a camp where we could do that. Make a week for some boy that has nothing, that has never had anything, and make a week for him. It takes being free-hearted. It takes giving what you can give. Do what you can do. Not just give. Many people can't find anything to do. They are rich and they are wealthy and they don't have anything to do. Find you an active church somewhere that God has, that God's working in, and go down there and do something. Go down there and sweep the parking lot. Go down there and just walk around the parking lot. If you see a coffee cup somebody threw out there, pick it up. All those things are necessary. All those things are necessary. If you can afford to support financially something like that, get in there, gung-ho. If the church has a backhoe driver in it and they could use a backhoe down there, buy them a backhoe and take it down there. Or give them one you got laying around somewhere. I've actually got friends that's got equipment all over the place. We wouldn't give a piece of it away though. But we need to do the things that count. They will be for you in heaven forever if you'll do them on the earth now. Take not thought for the raiment. Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Solomon had 1,500 stables, 1,500 pairs of horses. That's 30,000 horses. He had more than any man. When Solomon ate, the whole country ate. When Solomon ate, thousands of people ate, and he furnished every one of the meals for every one of them 3 times a day. And yet all that he was arrayed with, gold and silver and all the treasures that he had, all the women and children, everything he had. God said, one lily that I made that does exactly what it's supposed to do every day is worth more than all of Solomon in his glory. Let me tell you one thing that lily does that is important. It gives nectar to all the birds and the bees and the things that come by that need a little nectar, need a little honey, need a little sweetener. They come by that lily and they get it. That one lily sustains hummingbirds, bees, flies, all kinds of things that live off from that little nectar that lily puts out for the 2-3 months that it's up there. And God said that little old lily does more than all of Solomon's riches ever did, because it does what God made it to do, and it sustains all of that that's supposed to, that's around it. Are you a lily? Or are you a gatherer of money and stuff, which makes you a kind of a thorn in a way on the earth? That you would hoard something when there's many, many needs for it. You say, well, I don't think I ought to give it to the people. Well, I tell you what you can do. You can make it where those poor people could come to a camp or come to a better life or come do something for a month that would enhance them, that they never would forget, and they could get the gospel There's plenty of places out there where you could help financially, if you can help financially. This is Brother Peter. I must go. My time's come and gone. See you next time. Bye-bye.